tough game. It's what we expected though, Burnley are fighting for points down by the relegation. We knew they'd be compact to make it difficult. Proud of the way we dug deep there and a really good 3 points.
To stay until the end in this race with the possibility to take a place in Champions League in England, it means that you are doing a really good job. Thanks to my players because they follow me since my first day. They showed me great commitment, great behavior, great desire to try to change, to change the situation and to fight for something important.
We've come here today with a plan of how we wanted to play. I think we executed that well, apart from a decision.
How did you see the penalty? Harsh, cruel, but as soon as he goes to the TV screen to review it with the words of the VAR in his ears, you know what's going to happen, don't you?
I think you're right in what you're saying there, but I've watched it back. It's an 18-yard box. The lad's pulling his arm before that. That's not shown on the VAR. And then obviously he loses his balance when he comes in a little bit. Nobody in that 18-yard box has appealed for a penalty. It just doesn't make sense.
We'll look at it in just a second, but at this stage of the season, job done is all that really matters from a Tottenham perspective.
Yeah, and that was the most important thing. They had such a huge game against Arsenal on Thursday, and there was so much emotionally, physically invested in that game, and that was their sole focus at the start of the week. I think for Burnley, obviously, it was very different. They were able to spend the whole week thinking about a game plan, how they were going to face Tottenham. 62 hours they had, those Spurs players, to recover as well. So there was a bit leggy. They actually got off to a good start, but Burnley were resolute, they were solid, they created some chances, grew into the game. And as we just saw there from the manager, they feel hard done by with the penalty, which we're going to get into.
OK, interesting you say 62 hours, because I feel like I spent 62 hours this season talking about what's handball and what isn't.
Yeah. Well, look, it's one of those situations here. I think you saw what Michael Jackson was talking about. There's the pushing and pulling with Davinson Sanchez and Ashley Barnes. Ashley Barnes' arm is in what is called an unnatural position. And by the letter of the law, it is handball. Now, if I was Ashley Barnes or a Burnley player, I'd be absolutely fuming. I feel like the changes that have been made to the handball rule have just made it farcical this year. We've seen some ridiculous ones, and I think you can add that one to the list personally. I think that, there's the old saying of kind of like you'll learn, you look back throughout the year, and that's how Tottenham will look at it. But that doesn't help Burnley in the situation that they're in at all. Tottenham will take it all day, but I mean,
It's a rubbish law. I know it's there for everyone. They've just changed that law so many times over the years that it's so complicated. I mean, what happened to just saying if you gain an advantage or it's deliberate handball? That to me is pretty simple. But all the rest of this stuff, the proximity, the unnatural position, I mean, it comes off his shin there. The pushing and pulling, etc., etc. Yes, by the law, he's got to give the penalty. That's what it is, and that's what we've seen so many decisions. I think Newcastle got one last season, didn't they? Was it Eric Dyer? But it's a rubbish law, it really is.
And it is only Davinson Sanchez who appeals. Ben Davies has got a clear view of it. I think Eric Dyer had a clear view of it. They don't appeal it, kind of as if it then actually, when they're checking, half the players...
The referee was right there.
I'm wondering, yeah.
And he didn't make the decision. He didn't make the decision. That was the problem.
Let's take a look at the race for the top four then. Tottenham just have the one game left. Chelsea and Arsenal have the two. I mean, you would say, Alan, wouldn't you? That
Tough one tomorrow night.
That's
Massive
what I was
game.
thinking you were going to say. Chelsea and Tottenham will prefer their fixtures to Arsenal.
Yeah, tough game. I mean, the atmosphere at St James's Park tomorrow night will be electric, as it has been for a while now, and Newcastle will make a very, very tough game for them.
That's everything that I wanted to hear. Absolutely love it.
Right, Leeds are in the bottom three going into their home game.